History often tells the tales of the famous empires that shaped the world and left their mark. But before these empires rose, countless civilizations laid the groundwork for modern society. These cultures introduced innovations in governance, technology, and urbanization that continue to shape our world. Today, we rank the 10 most significant forgotten civilizations, going deeper into their achievements and exploring how they influenced the modern age. At number 10, the Ubaid culture, emerging around 5000 BCE, represents the first step toward what we now recognize as civilization. Found in Mesopotamia's Fertile Crescent, the Ubaid people transformed their environment by developing large-scale irrigation systems to control the flow of the Tigris and Euphrates rivers. This innovation turned arid regions into fertile farmland, supporting stable communities. The Ubaid were pioneers of urban living. They created the first known settlements with organized layouts, dividing spaces for residential, public, and agricultural use. These villages later evolved into larger cities like Ur and Uruk, which became hubs of culture and governance. Their homes, made from mud brick, were sturdy and built to last. Some even had storage rooms for surplus grain, indicating a sophisticated approach to resource management. Their religious practices revolved around temples, which were modest at first but laid the groundwork for the grand ziggurats of later Mesopotamian societies. The Ubaid also developed social hierarchies, with evidence of leaders who managed agricultural production and trade. Their contributions to water management and city planning directly influenced the Sumerians, and their innovations remain relevant today. Modern agriculture and urban planning owe much to the Ubaid, whose methods allowed humanity to transition from a nomadic lifestyle to a settled, organized way of life. Coming in at number 9, the Cahokia people of North America built one of the largest cities of their time. Around 1200 AD, Cahokia, near present-day St. Louis, was home to over 20,000 residents, making it larger than most European cities of the same era. Monk's Mound, the centerpiece of Cahokia, is the largest earthen structure in the Americas, towering 100 feet high and covering an area of 14 acres. Constructed without modern tools, its creation required the careful excavation and transportation of millions of cubic feet of soil. Surrounding the mound were ceremonial plazas, residential neighborhoods, and smaller mounds used for religious and administrative purposes. Cahokia's extensive trade network stretched across the continent, linking regions as far as the Great Lakes and the Gulf Coast. Goods like copper, mica, and shells moved through the city, symbolizing its influence as an economic hub. Their expertise in land management, including deforestation and soil modification, highlights their advanced understanding of environmental engineering. The city's decline around 1400 AD remains a mystery, but evidence suggests environmental pressures, resource depletion, and social unrest played significant roles. Cahokia's achievements challenge outdated narratives about pre-Columbian North America and highlight the complexity and innovation of indigenous civilizations. At number 8, the Olmecs, who thrived from 1400 to 400 BCE, are often called the mother culture of Mesoamerica. Their influence on later civilizations like the Maya and Aztecs is undeniable. The Olmecs were pioneers in many ways. They developed one of the earliest known calendar systems in the Americas and likely created a form of hieroglyphic writing. These advancements allowed them to track celestial events and manage agricultural cycles with remarkable precision. Their colossal stone heads, some weighing over 20 tons, remain iconic symbols of their society and are believed to represent rulers or deities. The Olmecs also established ceremonial centers, such as La Venta and San Lorenzo, which featured pyramids, altars, and ball courts. Ritual ball games, introduced by the Olmecs, became a cultural staple for centuries. They were also skilled agriculturalists, domesticating crops like maize, beans, and squash, which formed the backbone of the Mesoamerican diet. Their innovations in art, architecture, and agriculture shaped the cultural and technological trajectory of the region. Even after their decline, their influence persisted, with many of their practices adopted and refined by later civilizations. At number 7, the Hittites, who ruled Anatolia from 1600 to 1200 BCE, revolutionized warfare, governance, and diplomacy. They were among the first to master ironworking, crafting tools and weapons that gave them a decisive advantage over their Bronze Age rivals. Their military prowess extended to the battlefield, where they used chariots in innovative ways, dominating their enemies with speed and precision. But the Hittites were not just warriors, they were also administrators. They created one of the world's earliest legal codes, which included protections for women, children, and slaves. These laws reflected a progressive society that valued justice and order. The Hittites are perhaps best known for the Treaty of Kadesh, signed with Egypt around 1259 BCE. This groundbreaking document, inscribed on clay tablets, established terms of peace and cooperation between two of the ancient world's superpowers. Despite their mysterious decline around 1200 BCE, likely due to invasions and internal conflicts, the Hittites' advancements in metallurgy, governance, and diplomacy left a lasting legacy. At number 6, the Axum Empire dominated trade networks from the 1st to the 7th centuries AD, connecting Africa, Arabia, and the Mediterranean. Axum's strategic location allowed it to control vital trade routes along the Red Sea, making it a center of commerce and cultural exchange. Axum exported gold, ivory, and frankincense, while importing silk and spices from Asia. The empire was also one of the first to mint its own coins, which featured inscriptions in Ge'ez, one of the world's oldest written languages. This currency facilitated trade and symbolized Axum's economic sophistication. In the 4th century, Axum became one of the first empires to adopt Christianity, influencing Ethiopia's spiritual and cultural identity for centuries. Its architectural achievements, including towering obelisks and rock-hewn churches, reflect its advanced engineering capabilities. Axum's integration into global trade and its religious legacy had a profound impact on world history. Alright, before we jump into the top 5, let's have some fun. Which of these civilizations do you think made the biggest impact on the world today? Drop your guesses in the comments. And if you're loving this journey through history, hit that like button and subscribe to join our adventure. Trust me, you won't want to miss what's coming next. Let's dive back in. Cracking the top 5, the Nabateans thrived from 400 BCE to 300 AD, transforming the harsh desert into a thriving hub of trade and innovation. Known primarily for their iconic capital, Petra, the Nabateans excelled in blending art, architecture, and engineering to create one of the most visually stunning cities in history. Petra, often referred to as the Rose City, was carved directly into sandstone cliffs and served as a critical hub for trade routes that connected Arabia, Egypt, and the Mediterranean. Beyond its beauty, Petra was a marvel of engineering. The Nabateans built an intricate water management system that included reservoirs, aqueducts, and cisterns, enabling them to thrive in one of the driest regions on Earth. The Nabateans became incredibly wealthy by taxing caravans that transported goods such as spices, incense, and textiles. Their blending of cultural influences, evident in Petra's architecture, demonstrates their openness to ideas from Greece, Rome, and the Middle East. Their hydraulic systems remain a source of inspiration for modern water conservation efforts, and their ability to adapt and innovate in an unforgiving environment highlights the resilience of their civilization. At number 4, the Sea Peoples remain one of history's great mysteries. Around 1200 BCE, this enigmatic group launched a series of invasions that destabilized the ancient world and ushered in the collapse of several major Bronze Age civilizations, including the Hittites and Mycenaeans. The origins of the Sea Peoples are still debated, with theories suggesting they were displaced groups from the Aegean, Anatolia, or even Northern Europe. What is clear, however, is their devastating impact. They attacked coastal cities, disrupted trade routes, and toppled long-standing empires, leaving behind a trail of destruction that plunged the Mediterranean into chaos. Their raids marked the transition from the Bronze Age to the Iron Age, forcing societies to innovate in weaponry, governance, and economic systems. The collapse they triggered paved the way for the rise of new powers, such as the Greeks and Phoenicians, who would go on to shape the Mediterranean world. Despite their mysterious nature, the Sea Peoples' influence on history is undeniable, as their disruptions forced civilizations to adapt and evolve. Taking the bronze at number 3, the Indus Valley Civilization, which thrived from 2500 to 1900 BCE, demonstrated an extraordinary level of urban sophistication. Stretching across modern-day Pakistan and northwest India, this civilization covered over 1 million square kilometers, making it one of the largest of its time. Cities like Mohenjo-Daro and Harappa were meticulously planned, with grid layouts, advanced drainage systems, and standardized brick sizes. These features highlight their engineering prowess and commitment to public health. Remarkably, there is no evidence of monumental palaces or temples, suggesting a more egalitarian society where wealth and power were distributed more evenly than in other ancient civilizations. Their economy was based on agriculture, supported by advanced irrigation techniques, and supplemented by trade with Mesopotamia and Central Asia. Artifacts such as seals, pottery, and jewelry reveal a society that valued craftsmanship and cultural expression. The sudden decline of the Indus Valley civilization remains one of history's great mysteries. Climate change, shifting river patterns, and resource depletion are among the theories proposed. Their contributions to urban planning, sanitation, and governance laid the foundation for modern cities and continue to inspire sustainable urban development today. Our runner-up is Göbekli Tepe, a prehistoric site built over 11,000 years ago in modern-day Turkey. Predating both agriculture and the wheel, Göbekli Tepe is the world's oldest known temple complex and rewrites what we thought we knew about the origins of civilization. The site consists of massive stone pillars arranged in circular formations, many of which are intricately carved with depictions of animals such as snakes, foxes, and lions. These carvings demonstrate advanced artistic skills and suggest that the builders had a deep understanding of their environment. The scale of the construction implies that large groups of people work together, which challenges the assumption that organized societies only developed after the advent of agriculture. Göbekli Tepe is unique because it was built by hunter-gatherers before permanent settlements were established. This suggests that religion, not agriculture, may have been the driving force behind the development of complex societies. The site appears to have been a center for communal gatherings, where people came together for rituals and social interaction. Interestingly, after centuries of use, the site was deliberately buried, preserving it for modern archaeologists to uncover. This groundbreaking discovery has forced historians to rethink the timeline of human development. It suggests that spiritual beliefs and shared rituals were foundational in fostering cooperation and societal growth, even before the establishment of farming. Göbekli Tepe challenges traditional narratives and offers a new perspective on the origins of civilization. Finally, at number 1, the Minoans of Crete, who thrived from 3000 to 1450 BCE, stand as Europe's first advanced civilization. Named after the legendary King Minos, the Minoans were pioneers in governance, trade, architecture, and cultural expression, shaping the Mediterranean world long before the rise of classical Greece. The Minoans are best known for their magnificent palaces, the most famous of which is Knossos. This sprawling complex covered 6 acres and housed administrative, religious, and residential areas, making it not just a palace but the heart of Minoan society. These palaces were equipped with advanced plumbing systems, including flushing toilets and sophisticated drainage, a technological marvel thousands of years ahead of their time. The Minoans' architectural prowess extended to multi-story buildings with frescoed walls depicting vibrant scenes of nature, rituals, and daily life. These frescoes reveal a society deeply connected to the natural world and one that celebrated art and culture. Their economic success was rooted in their maritime expertise. the Minoans built a vast network of trade routes across the Mediterranean, reaching as far as Egypt and the Levant. They exported goods such as olive oil, wine, and crafted pottery, while importing luxury items like gold, ivory, and precious stones. Their central location on Crete made them a crucial hub for cultural and economic exchange, spreading their influence far beyond their island home. Minoan religion also set them apart. Unlike later Greek cultures, the Minoans worshipped a pantheon of predominantly female deities, with the snake goddess being one of the most iconic figures. Their rituals often involved nature, fertility, and animals, as seen in the famous bull-leaping frescoes. This unique practice, which involved participants vaulting over bulls in what appeared to be both a sport and a religious ritual, emphasized the Minoans' reverence for these powerful creatures. The bull, which later inspired the Greek myth of the Minotaur, became a central symbol of Minoan culture. The Minoans also developed early forms of writing, known as Linear A and Linear B. While Linear A remains undeciphered, it is believed to have been used for religious and administrative purposes. Linear B, an adaptation of Linear A, was later used by the Mycenaeans and provides invaluable insights into both Minoan and Mycenaean societies. These scripts are some of the earliest examples of written language in Europe, marking the Minoans as intellectual forerunners of Western civilization. Despite their advancements, the Minoans faced catastrophic challenges that ultimately led to their decline. Around 1600 BCE, the eruption of the Thera volcano on the nearby island of Santorini unleashed a devastating tsunami and spewed ash that buried settlements and crippled agriculture. The impact of this disaster weakened their society, leaving them vulnerable to invasion. By 1450 BCE, the Mycenaeans from mainland Greece had overtaken the Minoans, absorbing much of their culture, but marking the end of their dominance. The Minoans' contributions to art, trade, governance, and architecture laid the foundation for the flourishing of ancient Greece and, by extension, Western civilization. Their innovations in engineering, writing, and maritime commerce influenced generations to come, while their cultural values, expressed through their art and religion, offer a glimpse into a society that valued harmony, creativity, and connection with nature. Though the Minoans vanished over 3 millennia ago, their legacy endures in the myths, legends, and historical records that shaped the Mediterranean world. Their story is not just one of grandeur and innovation, but also of resilience and cultural influence, making them one of the most significant forgotten civilizations in human history. These civilizations may have disappeared from the world stage, but their legacies remain woven into the fabric of our modern world. Which of these civilizations fascinates you the most? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more journeys into history's hidden stories.